Now, with regards to Mokonzi, we need to determine which legs will actually make up the upper legs and so forth. But before moving on any further, there's something very, very important I need to know. In real life, a human being cannot do anything without his most important central unit called the brain. In a computer, nothing can be accomplished without the all-important central processing unit called the CPU. In a car, it's an engine. So, in the same way, with Mokonzi, it needs a central drive that will drive everything forward. I'm talking, of course, about a main bone. And of course, that main bone will end up being this one here. Okay? In fact, we might want to rename it to bone 04 root, because this is the root bone that will do everything. Okay? That will drive everything forward. Now, since it's the root bone, it means, of course, all the other bones must be linked to it, and this is how we're going to link it. First, we're going to change the selection mode to all, okay? And then, very important, we're going to select these bones here that are closest connected to it. You can see. Yeah, you see that? Only those bones. We're leaving all the other bones alone. Select them, and then we're going to select the link tool, and we're going to link them, of course, to this one here. So that now, if this bone goes to the left, you can see it drives everything with it. If it goes up, of course, everything goes up. That's why it's called what? The root bone. Okay? You can call it root bone or main bone, or whichever one you prefer. And then, of course, now up next comes, now it's very important to do that as I showed you, because if you link the wrong bones to the root bone, trust me, you will have problems. That's what I said. That's why I said in the beginning, I really need extra attention from you. So yeah, let's continue. Now comes, of course, the part where we actually create the IK solvers. We begin by identifying which bones will actually make up the upper bones. So we are going to start with this one here. Select it, and then we go to animation, IK solvers. Then we select HI solver, and then we come here, and remember, working on this foot, we are going to select, of course, the tip of the bone. Sorry, I just needed to zoom out a bit. So we go to animation, IK solvers, HI solver, and pick the root there. By doing that, you notice 3D creates this chain that it calls an IK chain, which if you drag, can you see? Of course, the foot is following along because now it's in a chain, an IK chain. Okay, we need to do, of course, that for all the legs. Select the upper bone, animation, IK solvers, HI solver, pick the roots. This really, I bet you're also feeling like you're in some kind of different environment right now, because that's the power of tutorials. Really, it enables us to experiment with things that we thought we could not do before. Animation, HI solver, root. Select animation, HI solver. Okay, and of course that one also. And pick it. So now, as you can see, we've managed to link each of those bones to the root. In other words, right now, if you select the root and select the moving tool, if you bring the root down, can you see what is going on? Of course, our bone setup is coming down with them. Okay, and of course, if our creature decides to jump up, by the way, I'm just pressing Control Z to undo any changes. If you wanted to jump up, can you see what will happen? Of course, our robot will be happily jumping up. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh yeah. If you resize to rotate, you can see everything will rotate. As you can see, it has got 6 legs. So guys, I'm so happy as to what is going on with the result right now. It's quite fantastic. And now we can, let's see. we can now right click in the viewport and then select unhide all, so that everything can come back, so that of course we can be able to manipulate the situation from here. Right now I'm already feeling like one of those mad scientists, in the laboratory, who just discovered that yes, it has made a creature come to life. The power of creation. And up next is a part where we're actually going to ungroup things and send them to where they belong. Let's start with this leg here. Group, ungroup. We're going to each of these legs here and ungrouping them to the right components, of course. Ungroup each of those legs. Yeah, so that now you can see, of course, each of these objects has been separated to become what they should be. Okay, that's of course because we want to send them to the right departments. Let's see the machine guns also. And also that's group, ungroup. And of course the head itself, group, ungroup. Oh yeah. Okay, let's do the following now. We're going to begin to name things to what they should be. Let's start with the head, of course, so we can rename the line here to a head. Okay, go to the modify panel. You can see clearly we actually have come quite far with it, and we're actually ready to begin to collapse things. So for instance, this one here, the head, you can see I have 3 iterations of the mesh smoothing. Well, you can always reduce yours to 2 depending on which situation suits you best. Okay, so once you've done that, let's see, I think I like mine at 3, actually at 2. Right click and collapse everything. You can see now it gives you a nice head there. You move on, let's move on to the next one. Reducing the number of mesh smoothings, collapsing, of course. Now of course we can attach the head to these remaining objects. Select the head, of course attach this option there. Always match material IDs to material, and of course this section here, like that, so that now of course we have the head. If I press delete right now, you can see how everything disappeared. Now let's move on. Okay, now if you were standing up, this side here will be your right hand side, and of course this is the left. Okay, so I'm saying that so that now from now on we are going to begin to name things according to what they should be. Okay, let's move on. These eyes here, you can see where they are. I think they just need to be moved a bit backwards, yeah, like that. Now we're going to call these eyes, let's see, secondary, large, because they are much bigger. Okay, because they're quite big, as I said. And then also these ones here, these are the primary eyes, of course. So let's actually see, there must be one piece. Yes, they are one piece. So these are eyes primary. Okay, of course they're tiny. Now the eyes, in other words, both of these sets of eyes, we're going to select them. So you can see the eyes primary and the eyes secondary. Select them both, and they need to be linked. So we're going to select the linking tool. They need to be linked to the head, okay, so that wherever the head goes, of course they will follow. And then we're going to select the head itself, select the linking tool. Now the head must be linked to the main bone here, the root bone, like that, so that now wherever the root bone goes, can you see, it takes the head with them. Okay, then let's move on. This object here, let's name to something appropriate, like let's see, foreleg front right, okay, because it's a foreleg and it's sitting at the front and it's on the right hand side. So that's the proper naming convention that I'm choosing. Actually, let me copy it for you guys so that you can see. Please remember, the naming is not so important. It only helps you mentally so that you know which object is what. So as you can see, the way I name things is as follows. Firstly, what is the object? Well, it's a foreleg. And then, where is it? Well, it's at the front. And then, which side of the front? Well, it's on the right hand side. So that's my naming convention that I use over and over and over again for a proper project workflow. So if this is the foreleg front right, well, we're going to select the leg here. And of course, this leg will be called what? Well, leg front right. As simple as that, okay? Next is this foreleg here. Now, of course, that's a middle foreleg, so we are going to rename it to foreleg middle right. And this leg will take the name of leg middle right, because it's the leg and it's the middle in the one of the middle legs, and it's on the right hand side, of course. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and rename everything in your scene accordingly. That's a rear leg, so I'm going to rename mine to leg rear right, of course. And coming onto this side. Now remember, everything on this side is on the left hand side, so that leg there is a leg rear left. As you can see, it's on it's at the rear end on the left hand side. And of course this one here, I'm simply copying and pasting from the previous names I had in my previous scene so that we don't waste too much time here naming things. Remember, the names can be anything that you want. Okay, you just have to refer to the right things. Finally, I've reached my front leg here. Leg front left. And of course I also need to rename this one here to a proper name, of course. So it's a foreleg at the front on the left hand side. And of course, Mokonzi will not be complete without his stunning set of machine guns. So let's go to its machine guns. I bet you also can't wait for them to be firing some shots, eh? So we're going to rename the machine gun to machine gun right, because this one here, of course, is sitting on the right hand side as the other things. And of course this must be machine gun left. Okay, and then we also need to rename these sections that join the gun with the main body. So this one here must be renamed to gun joint right. And of course that one to gun joint left. I bet now you can see why we name things accordingly. Okay, up next we want to link things to the right part in the bodies. We're going to start with this foreleg here. Clearly it needs to be linked to this bone, so we're going to link things to the proper bones. So select this foreleg and then link it to this bone here, as you can see. Select the leg, of course, and link it to that bone. So do that for each of these. As you can see, we are only linking things to bones. Okay. So don't make the mistake of linking things to other things. Only to bones. Okay, and of course this leg here must be linked to that one. Perfect. And remember, we linked the head here to the root bone, because where the head goes, of course the body must follow. And now, very important, the gun joints, I'm talking about this object here, these two guys must be linked to the head. So select them, and then we're going to select the linking tool, and of course link them to the head like that. Okay, and then each machine gun of course must be linked to its gun joint. So select this guy and link it to that, and select this one here and of course link it to that. Now this point here, if we select the root bone at any point, let me turn off the edge faces for now. And if we ever decide to move it up, can you see, of course, how the entire body is following along. So ladies and gentlemen, before your own eyes, Mokonzi is coming to life. So you notice now, if he's shooting up, you can see how the entire body indeed can be rigged. Look at that, eh? I bet you're totally impressed as well, eh? You'll be even more impressed when when I will show you guys exactly how to shoot it in full motion. Look at that, eh? So this was the entire process of creating a proper rig setup for our character, and of course in the next steps I'm going to show you how to take it to the next levels of animation. Beautiful creative stuffs, only as I always say, of course, at Henrythejedi.com. Offering you tutorials you just can't get anywhere else. Oh yeah. Now we at Henrythejedi.com have amazing training DVDs just for you. They deal with topics in the world of 3D animation and special effects. Okay, so here are our training DVDs: After Effects Unmatched, Creative Phenomena, Fracture, The Camaro, and of course Digitally Transformed. These are all our training DVDs designed specifically to boost your creativity to the next levels of productivity when it comes to 3D animation, motion graphics, and visual effects. So support us by purchasing one or two or all of our training DVDs, so that we can of course continue to bring this kind of level of training to you. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Andre Mbata and I'm out of here.